News Talk Sports of the Triad, WSJS. It is 8:47. That's Kristen. I'm Jeffrey. It's time for Helping Hands, and we shine the WSJS spotlight on another group in the Piedmont Triad doing some great work in the neighborhood, maybe a charitable good works organization. What a faith gathering. This morning, we are focusing on Miracles in Sight. President and CEO Ingrid Schunder is with us. Ingrid, thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So, Ingrid, some big news, right, for Miracles in Sight based in Winston-Salem, but really your impact is all across the region and the entire country, isn't it?
That is true. We were formerly known as the North Carolina Eye Bank, and a lot of people don't know that we have been doing eye banking here in Winston-Salem since 1951.
So, Ingrid, what does that mean? When you talk about the North Carolina Eye Bank, so I think some folks just go, okay, that sounds kind of interesting, but what do you do? So can you take us through that story and talk about some of the impact you have in the medical world and for so many patients?
Well, I think after I tell you this, a lot of your listeners will say, yes, I am impacted by that, but I didn't know it. So a lot of people have heard of organ donation, but believe it or not, the ocular transplant, corneal transplantation, has been around since the 40s. And so I think it's important to recognize that when a loved one dies and a family makes the decision for them to be a donor, that they can donate their corneas, their ocular tissue for transplant. And so that's what we do. We recover the tissue and we bring it to our laboratory and we make sure that it's good for transplant. We process it due to the, according to the surgeon's needs and the needs of the patient. And then it is able to be transplanted for people that are visually impaired or in danger of losing their vision altogether.
So this
I think most people can relate to that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is really good news. So Miracles in Sight recovers tissue from what, about 3,000 donors a year?
Yes, if you include research, about 3,600.
And then that leads to corneal tissue, which 3,000, nearly 4,000 transplants each year.
That is true, yes. We service our local area, we service the United States, and we do send tissue internationally as well.
All right, so Ingrid, that kind of gets us up to speed a little bit. So tragedy struck a few years ago. Now, you've had a location in Winston, you talk about a timely issue. Here we go. Not necessarily because of a hurricane and the flooding and the aftermath, but you all had your own disaster there at Miracles in Sight when water just got loose and destroyed a lot of stuff and territory, didn't it?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. We had a pipe that burst in the plenum, and it just rained down on the laboratory, quite literally. We have 3 rooms that we operate, 3 clean rooms that we operate out of, and they were completely destroyed, unfortunately, and that was in 2022. Fortunately, we were able to move into our secondary lab, and we did not miss any transplants, I'm glad to say. However, now we're confined into less than half of that space, and your automatic response is, well, let's rebuild. And then we said, we always wanted to grow. And so the facility that we're looking to move to now will have 4 operating clean rooms and twice the space. So that is the goal, yes.
So opening, we hope, in the spring of 2025 with a specialized lab for industry and regulatory requirements, training facilities, a museum, and offices for Miracles in Sight. And Ingrid, the reason we want to have you on the big show today is there is a way for all of us to contribute and help make this happen and impact the lives of countless others, isn't there?
Yes, sir, that is true. We are we just actually left the quiet phase and are in the public phase of our capital campaign in our efforts to raise $5 million. And I would like to say our efforts already have gotten us about 67% of the way there at $3.4 million, but our goal is $5 million in the year 2025.
So, Ingrid, how will these funds be used?
Well, we found a space, and it is a 15,000 square foot facility, and it was a shell of a building, so it was a blank canvas, if you will, and so we're able to build a 2-story. Our administrative headquarters will be upstairs, and our state-of-the-art lab will be downstairs with 4 clean rooms to support our mission.
Sure, one of the largest nonprofit eye banks in the world, and I think, clearly the transplants are important, and that is the heartbeat of what we do and changing so many lives. But your ability and your commitment to training physicians and technicians on the surgical procedures and the handling of human tissue, that's just going to grow this number and change the lives of so many people. The more that you can do, the more you can teach, the more people learn, the more good they can go out and sow those seeds in the rest of the world, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And absolutely, it is part of our mission, and it has been since 1951, and we intend to serve as many communities as we can in the future, and this effort will help us do that.
Dedicated area for innovation and product development. And you talk about, right, you've got, so based in Winston-Salem, but then 9 cities across North Carolina and South Carolina, and even another lab in Texas, right?
Yes, Central Texas. It is that allows us to be able to service our doctors and prepare the tissue in a secondary lab in another time zone away, and it allows us to be more efficient. And it does boil down to 2 things really. It's the gift of the tissue itself. I just cannot say enough about our families who have made the choice for their loved one to be a donor and donate the tissue, but then also us to be good stewards of that tissue and make sure that it gets into the hands of the skilled surgeons, and then ultimately saving the vision of thousands of people across the world. And
Ingrid, what's the easiest way for people to learn more and to give?
Well, what I would say is go to our website, which is miraclesinsight.org, and there is a page there that will tell you about our organization, our leadership, our mission, and how you can donate to the capital campaign.
And folks, before you think this is just another local group, this is a group with worldwide impact, as Miracles in Sight travels nearly 1 million miles every year with their fleet, collecting, distributing tissue, and educating. And this is essential. It's imperative that we get these folks in their new facility, that they can continue to do the good work and break more ground and teach more physicians and technicians on exactly how to get things done and make it happen the right way. The website to visit, miraclesinsight.org. Ingrid, I hope you'll stay in touch and keep us updated on how it's progressing. And then we got to all get together. Big party when you open up the doors to the new facility, right?
Yes, the plan is April in 2025, and I would love for you to be there. Absolutely.
Well, we are looking forward to it, my friend. Thanks so much for taking the time to be with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Ingrid Schunder, the president and CEO of Miracles in Sight. If you'd like to learn more and give as you feel led or are able, miraclesinsight.org. Isn't that good news? And we'll get that posted on our Facebook page as well. WSJS Triad Today. That's going to do it for hour number 2, folks. After the top of the hour break, a little news, a little weather, a little sports. We're going to go off the beaten path with Ty Collins. Always a lot of fun. It is 8:56, 4 minutes before the top of the hour. We'll be back with more after this on News Talk Sports of the Triad, WSJS.